Hello everybody, welcome to episode 197 of Crowdfunding Countdown. We're going to take a look at every single board game campaign finishing up in the next week, but before we do, I have a new patron to thank, Lyle. Thanks so much for jumping on board, supporting the channel. I am supremely appreciative of it. It's great to see you pop up in the Discord, and yeah, look forward to hanging out over there. Also, thanks to Taryn or Luke for the donation from last week as well. I really appreciate it as well. I thank you everybody who supports the channel. It really makes a meaningful difference, and it helps keep this channel running, even when I'm tired. But I'm less tired now because I'm out of show hell week. Now I'm just trying to play games with people, getting some games of Rising Sun in. I'm really excited to force the cast to play as many games as possible so that we can have a nice big recap video at the end of the week. At the end of the summer, rather. But let's get into the week. Let's see what we're looking at this week. Not a whole lot this week, which is great, because maybe it'll take me a little bit less than usual. But we're going to start off with Clank Catacombs Underworld. Go deeper than ever in a new expansion for the beloved tabletop board game Clank Catacombs. I still have yet to play Clank Catacombs. I really like Clank. I think Clank's a fun game. And I've just played the base game of Clank. That's it. I haven't played the legacies. I haven't played anything else. So I'm excited to check this one out. Seems like it's just an expansion, not a standalone though. So we'll see. Now it's going even deeper. Prepare to hit rock bottom. Yeah. Is that the Direwolf's new motto? Not a good motto. More cards, more monsters. More cards, more monsters. Another special little underworld section where it's just like the regular Clank, where the deeper you go, the more danger there lies. Unique items tempt you in the underworld markets. Cool. You get a couple promo cards. It's $35 for the expansion. That's fairly on par with what their other Clank expansions were in the past. You can get the additional expansion too. Cool. Catacombs and both expansion bundles. 106. That feels maybe reasonable, because Catacombs is expensive, isn't it? So it's 147 Canadian. Now, what's Catacombs at 401? Yeah, right. Clank Catacombs is $80 at the store, Canadian. And then if you're adding 50 to that, that's 130. And if you add another 40 to that, that's 170. So you are getting a little bit of a bundle deal here. Well, 150, actually plus shipping, it's going to be 170 anyway. So you could probably just get them from your store. You get a couple promo cards, 15% off of 125 MSRP. That makes sense. Yeah, probably just getting them from your store is best, even with, you're getting 3 promo cards? 5 promo cards, who cares? Often these promo cards in deck builders, you know what? I often don't like promo cards, and that's it. They're not showing anything else. They're like, listen, you know if you want it or not. It's Clank Catacombs. This exists. It's a pre-order system. I often find promo cards in deck builders, especially something like Clank, or when there's open markets, or when there's single-use cards, I find them, I never want to incorporate them because they feel really overpowered. If they just turn up and somebody can get them, oftentimes they'll be a very overpowered, or their power level will be much higher. And because of that, I think it's better to not have the option of promo cards in your game for a deck builder like Clank, really. I'm not just doing this to talk you out of it. I'm saying that, like, it's a card that you would want to include because it's a promo card, but then the inherent nature of promo cards is that they aren't, like, tested as much, you know? And so they feel more game breaking. And Clank already has those swingy cards anyway. So maybe if there's enough swingy cards in there, it doesn't matter adding a few more swingy cards and it might actually work. But normally that's what talks me out of spending it now. And then I'd be like, oh, because my eyes went, awooga, potential deal. And then when they don't even talk about the shipping, maybe it's in here. Yeah, they don't even talk about shipping here in terms of what the shipping costs are going to be, and yet everybody's just jumping on board. I don't know why you would ever do that when Direwolf's like not even mentioning shipping up here. Just a very weird thing. What are the shipping regions? They're going to handle shipping. You can find our current estimates for shipping here. Okay, but like, hidden on an FAQ feels like, just put it on the page. It's standard practice to put it on the page. And the reason why you're not putting it on the page is because you don't want people to be worried about the cost. And so that feels disingenuous. Either way, I still want to get Clank Catacombs. I still want to get Clank Catacombs at some point in time. I would love to try it out and play it because I like Clank, and I think a modular board can only add to Clank. I believe this would be the definitive way to play Clank because you have that modular board. So yeah, Clank's a great game, but I don't think you should get it here. I think you should look into your local store. That finishes Wednesday, August 6th at 11:46 a.m. We're going to move along to this one, Tour de Colligo, tabletop fun of cycling for everyone. A strategic board game created to bring the joys of cycling to your table. Race with your friends for spots on the podium. That's not the flex you think it is. Is that when other people take years to publish a board game, we didn't take that that long. Just printing out new prototypes doesn't necessarily mean your game is going to be better. And you still haven't told me how to play the game. So you just said, getting a bike is hard. It's not enough. You need to tell me the game. Is that a real cycling race? Okay, sorry. The quote was, it'll add a whole new layer of fun as players can really sabotage each other, just like a real cycling race. Remind me never to do a cycling race with these two guys. They're going to poke my wheels with knives. They're going to create a break in my chain. Cycling doesn't stop at the road. No, cycling is life. Cycling goes deeper and deeper. If you want to win a good cycling race, you're going to break into your opponent's house the night before, tie them up so that they can't make it to the starting line. You're going to spend a year psychologically invading their lives, catfishing them, and then break their spirit right before the big race. You know, just like a real cycling race. Okay, let's see if they tell us how to play, because they certainly didn't in that. Board gamers, you'll be amazed by the strategies you can pull off. I would love to. I would love to be amazed. Step 1, collect stamina. Step 2, spend your stamina to move, exchange, or save stamina. Move your bike meeples, buy resources to help you get over challenges. As you go around turns, you're going to need stuff to get over challenges. Or skip a turn to save up more stamina. Each tile costs 1 stamina. You can use as much stamina as you want. You can only move 1 bike meeple per turn. Challenge zones will cost more stamina. Or you can use function cards. Draft with other meeples. Whenever bike meeples land in the same space, they automatically stack to form a peloton. Use draft tokens to move them. Riding together saves stamina. So do you only have 1 bike token? No, you want to stack all of your tokens on top of each other. Earn points on the podium. Or you just jump on top of everyone and everyone's like, I'm saving stamina. I'm saving stamina. I'm saving stamina. I'm not gonna move if you're on top of me. Especially when you're drawing 2 stamina cards and you can exchange 6 stamina for a sprint, 7 stamina for a climb, or 8 stamina for a draft. That's a whole lot of just doing nothing on your turn. That's what I want to do in a game. Nothing. Oh, but also stamina cards are just varied, so you're just drawing 2 cards and you might get a 5 and you might get a 1? Also absurd. I guess there is then a choice of like how much do you move your people, but you just want to stack all your people on one thing and then just push them forward. It's just, did you draw the better cards? Did you, then you win. That's what this game is. Okay, so you have to play a draft token 8 stamina to move during 1 turn. So sure, so you can move 6 spaces with 4 people. Anybody can move the peloton. I don't know. I guess there's a little bit more there than I was first expecting, but certainly not anything to make me that interested. How much are you? $131? Are you kidding me? No. The Super Early Bird is still $71 Canadian. Yikes. No, thank you. I think it looks fine. I think it looks better than I expected to now that I see that the stamina cards are different types. But I think it's just going to be a game of stalemate, really, where you just want to jump on to everybody's peloton and make them do the work for you while you build up a bunch of cards, and then you jump off and say see ya. Like, that's it, you know? Yeah, I'm not convinced. It's middling. I think there could be some fun for maybe 1 play, maybe 2 plays, and then I don't think I would ever want to touch it again. So that finishes Thursday, August 7th at 8:58 a.m. if you're interested. Let's keep moving to this guy, the Champions of 100 Halls in the G&G expansion, asymmetric cooperative strategy card game for 1 to 4 players, no tariff costs. I think they're going to lose money, or it's already been factored in. Do you like Magic the Gathering, Slay the Spire, Cosmic Encounter? Those aren't the same. Do you enjoy games that let you pull off sick combos? It was going to include 6 decks, but due to tariffs, we had to adjust course. Now it's 2 decks. You decide the scenario in the realm decks, and you also play a player deck. Each deck is a top card bearing the same name. Okay, yeah, it's a very simple. I preferred watching that video over this rulebook because, well, okay, there's some other stuff that I want to look at. One moment, calculating. Yeah, it's kind of like, it kind of gives me Aeon's End vibes more than anything else that they mentioned, but maybe it's just because I am familiar with Aeon's End, mainly because there's a big boss that you're trying to defeat. It's a scenario that you're trying to defeat. They flip over cards and they'll do things, and they're often like deal damage or spawn a monster, right? Which feels very Aeon's End coded to me. The realm will give you sort of a quest, little mini quests that you can do to buff your character, and then you can play 1 card out of your 5-card hand. That's it. And then you have an auto effect too. It seems okay. It doesn't seem like something I want to spend $100 on, especially when you're getting the Champions Deluxe sort of thing with all the 20 decks of 9 players, 5 realms, 6 scenarios. I don't think so. They're literally like, hey, you know that there's a big tariff situation. it would have made the cost of the game so expensive, and we can't do anything about it. So you're getting less content for more money. Sorry about it. That sucks. That really sucks. I don't think this looks like a bad game. I think it looks like a very simple game, but with the tariff costs, I mean, it says no tariff costs, but I mean, it's factored in there. Hard to justify that. And again, the gameplay just seems fine. There are other, for the price, Aeon's End is way better. You know, you're fighting against Aeon's End. You're fighting against a really good cooperative deck building game versus your very basic, I have a deck of cards, I'm going to keep drawing them and see what happens style game. It just isn't feasible. Oh, so I don't think this is a play. It looks fine. The finish is Wednesday, August 6th at 11 p.m. I think I got to do that video. I have a video planned, I think, of why crowdfunding is no longer a viable option. And as somebody who has covered everything in crowdfunding, it's a bit weird to say when I have, no designs of stopping this coverage, because we can see the most things that are on the up and up there. Like we saw Clank Catacombs, they just do crowdfunding for promo, right? So many things go through crowdfunding. It's a good way of knowing what's on the up and up. But yeah, I should do that video because it really isn't. There's a reason why I don't back that much. And that's because everything at the store is cheaper and probably better quality. But it's still fun trying to find these diamonds in a rough, so and see what people are doing with different mechanics. But often it comes down to, well, not as good as things that are out there. And what else can you say about that, really? You're not going to end up playing it if you have a lot of games. So what do we have here? Roll or Stand, Forbidden Adventures. Thematic roll and write meets blackjack in this co-op and solo printed home game. Puzzle your way through comic book style scenario. Roll or stand? I don't. This isn't what? Not a good video. Maybe you roll a dice and the number that you get is the number of pathways you have to draw. And you want to circle things? Is that what it's saying? Okay, let's see if it gives us any more information. Hidden to avoid spoilers. Okay, cool. Yeah. Because why would I want to know what I'm getting? You roll 2 dice each turn, add the results to your previous rolls, aiming to get as close as possible to the target values without busting, going over. Once you choose to stand, you extend lines in the active puzzle, working towards fulfilling its objective. Well, check out the full rules. At least there's that. For all you computer hunchers out there, I'm seeing an osteopath now, and she's awesome. But whenever you notice that you're hunching, one initial stretch that she told me was to stand up and reach and just do some reaches. Yeah, you can bet I'm going to be doing that for most of this video. The bonuses are above, so you keep rolling dice. And the line direction, and you can only roll the same number a limited amount of times. It kind of feels like this game's going to play itself. You roll 2 dice. Okay, you roll 2 dice. It's going to claim these stamina charges of the 2 dice. If I roll a 6 and a 5, I have to scratch off the 6 and the 5, and then I have to choose to put in either a 6 or a 5. Feels convoluted as all get out. Who cares? Yeah, this just it takes all the fun out of Push Your Luck. That's what this feels like. It feels like it takes all the fun out of Push Your Luck. It's real weird mathy of whenever you're going in a certain direction, you have to circle actions. You can only circle some actions to extend a line in one way. You have to start things out in a different way. Does not seem like something I would want to invest in, and it's more expensive than most roll and writes. Most roll and writes hit it at €5, and this is €8, so I wouldn't do it. That finishes Thursday, August 7th at 11 a.m. Okay, I clicked on this one, Octagion, a fast-paced word-building card game. It's the ultimate family-friendly speed spelling game. It's contagious. It's Octacontagious. Octagion. We get it. Seems like there should have been a U in there. Okay, that seems pretty simple. I guess I should finish watching the video, but I get it. Yeah, Octagion. You have a bunch of cards with letters on them. They'll have a bunch of numbers on them. So you have to spell an 8-letter word without using the same number on cards. And so you're shuffling things back and forth. I think this could be a lot of fun, actually. Wait, each player chooses an 8-letter word? You're not constructing your own word? Oh, that sucks. It's not a spelling game. It's just to run as quickly as you can to... I hate that. I hate that you have to, that everyone's spelling the same word. That sucks. Well, you could just not play it that way. No, I'm so sad. You start with an 8-letter challenge word that's revealed for all teams to solve. Oh, a challenge word? So maybe it'll... Okay. So it's like a riddle? If it was a riddle, I could get back on board. Boo. Yeah, that's how I thought. Boo. It's basically Match Madness. Although I really do like Match Madness. That's a very good game. The bootleg version of Match Madness is called the Uzzle, which I first played, and then realized, oh, they just stole it, called it a different name, and then sold a different version of it. So Match Madness was the person who created it, was called Match Madness. Yeah, strategies. Skim your deck for letters in sequence and set aside a relevant card. Like, that's just, it's not a strategy, it's like what you have to do. All right, how much are you? 20 bucks? 28 Canadian, free shipping for all add-ons. Okay. It just ships to the States, 5 to 10 bucks. I don't know. I got excited when I thought it was a spelling game, but I guess you need, or else you can just spell the same the same word over and over again. I think if you got maybe smaller decks, I don't know. I want a variation of this, but you could easily house rule. And they said there's lots of variations. It could be fun. I like speed word games. I think Bananagrams will be more fun. That finishes Thursday, August 7th at 11 a.m. Okay, next up we've got this, the Lovecraft Games Collection. 3 immersive Lovecraftian board games plus 2 themed card decks for endless cosmic horror sessions. Easy to learn. 1 to 4 players. Okay, that's not going to tell me anything, so let's go to the games. Cthulhu Rift. Game number 1. Take on the role of the Secret Division as you roam Arkham, sealing every last portal to stop the Cthulhu Rift that could destroy the world. A fun cooperative roll and write game with custom dice and plenty of tension. I'm glad I'm on the screen share. That would have been disastrous for me. Wait, did you say whispers? Did you say whispers rise in the alleys? Yes, I did. The Whisperer is everywhere. Don't tell me you don't have rulebooks here. How come you don't have rulebooks for any of these? You've produced 31 things and you don't have rulebooks on your page? Should we reward this? Shipping's gonna be €19 to the US. 39 to Canada. Unless I'm missing it. No updates. 14 comments. 6 days ago, could you please post rulebooks of the games? We're making some corrections. Once reviewed, we'll add them to the campaign. They haven't done that yet. There's no ability to just order one game, so you have to order all of these games and like all of these games. And what they're giving you is a sketch. You're going to roll dice and move this little car around. Why? Don't know. Didn't tell you. Cadath is just a tile-laying game. Great. Why would you buy it? Like, this is still raised $40,000, which is absurd to me with the limited amount of information that's on this page. People see Cthulhu and they go, yeah, I'd probably like it, and then just buy. I don't see why anybody would do this. I think this campaign page is honestly a bit offensive to board gaming everywhere because of the lack of information. So sorry, Cthulhu Project, especially with 31 created, like, get good, you know? I should hold you at a much higher standard. You're no slouch to crowdfunding games, so we're done with this. God, it makes me mad. That finishes Thursday, August 7th at 3 p.m. Not worth looking into. Absolutely not worth looking into. There's only one. All right, let's move on. We're moving on to Doodle Disaster, the art of miscommunication. I have high hopes for this. I think a hilarious party drawing game is good. Telestrations is a hilarious party drawing game, and I hope that this one can be equally hilarious. Is this just... Oh, that's funny. You're just following orders. That's fun. This is a great idea. This is a toaster. You have you have 3 squiggly lines up top, and then you have a rectangle, but it has curved edges up at the top, and then out of that rectangle is a little bit of a smaller rectangle, and then a bit of a circle connecting what that smaller rectangle would be. But consider the smaller rectangle to not have a line at the top. Then on the bottom, there are 2 little squares. Then on the bottom right, there's another little square jutting out. Well, all of these squares are jutting out. And then there's a little tiny pokey little dash with an extended rectangle on the right side. And you just describe that, and then you'd see what other people would draw and see what would happen. If you're a good communicator, this should be perfectly easy. But if you're not, well, maybe it won't be. This is a great idea for a game. Love this concept. I think it will be a hilarious drawing game. That is $38 Canadian. Shipping and timeline. Shipping to the US is $15, Canada is $25. So again, this would be about $60. I think this is a great, just to Canada and the US, I think this is a great idea. Fun little party game, very a la Telestrations, but different enough to warrant its spot. I think this is a wonderful campaign, a great idea, and restores my faith for board gaming, whereas the Lovecraft took that away from me. That finishes Thursday, August 7th at 4:07 p.m. All right, let's check out this one. We have Goats and Goblins. A quick, fun game of greedy goblins. 2 to 6 player card game of discovering lost goats and treasures as you search an unstable cave. Get too greedy and you can lose it all. Nice push your luck. Let's see. Until one day the goats decided to be idiots. My style of video. That reminds me, I heard the feedback that people were talking about me at a game night. Somebody else was there who said, oh yeah, I like his channel. He's not at all sarcastic. And that made me laugh quite a bit. I feel very seen. Oh, it's ink and gold. Oh, but if you if you're out, you get to affect other people who are in the cave as well. That seems like a good enough twist on Ink and Gold. Push your luck game where you attempt to draw a bunch of treasures. You're like, are you in or are you out? Someone starts as cave leader, they announce how deep in the cave they're gonna go. They're gonna go 5 cards deep. Everyone says in or out. If you're in, you're going to partake in the rewards or the spoils. If it's successful, everybody who voted in, including the cave leader, will split the treasure. All players may play cards to help or hinder the expedition. If the expedition fails, only those who voted out will split the treasure. So if you've got enough cards that you can really push people into doing bad things, then you can stay out. Yeah, I think this is going to be great as well. The next player will become cave leader. The players will repeat until there are no more cards in the deck. At the end of the game, whoever's the most gold wins. It's like, yeah, I'm the cave leader. I'm going to go 20 cards deep. You in or are you out? But imagine if you hit 20 cards without going under. $20? Great. Oh, 2 good ones in a row. I like that. Premium cards with UV spotting. Custom voting coins. Ooh, gold foil cards. Ooh la la. Yeah, a nice uptick on the deluxification. What is this? So it's 28 Canadian, and then shipping is going to be 17. Working on getting better prices for Canada. Thank you. Appreciate it. Currently priced to deal with US tariffs, so there's no additional charges right now. But depends, because who knows what the terrorist is going to do. Yeah, bad for Canada, but 28 for this simple little card game that I think is going to be a fun push your luck game for the US. Not bad at all. This is what I like to see. Oh, this makes me so happy. Rightfully so, it has raised a lot of money. I think this looks great. I think it looks simple. And a great flow. Ink and Gold is great, and this does an equally interesting job as Ink and Gold with a little bit of a twist. So if you like Ink and Gold, check this out. It finishes Thursday, August 7th at 11 p.m. Moving along, we have Kittens in Space, a fast and furious card shedding game of lunar cat rescue for 1 to 6 players. It looks like a slightly better version of Crazy 8, you know? So essentially, the gameplay is there's going to be these 2 stacks. These stacks that are on the adopt or the rescue side basically means one goes up and one goes down. You have to play cards from your hand that are higher, at least 2 higher, or than the numbers, depending upon what side it is. And then you get to move where the card is if you've played a switcheroo card. I don't really think this is something that I would be particularly interested in. I think it seems a little bit too basic, just a little bit. But hey, you know what? $14 is a great price. $14 is a really good price. I was expecting this to be $20. So I do like seeing that it's $14 and it is priced accordingly. I don't understand why it says if you play on the adopt side, you must have up to 2 fewer kittens on it. Okay, up to 2 fewer kittens. So it can be 1 below or 2 below, but no more. You want to time out where and when you're putting your cards out. $20 Canadian. I mean, I'm not interested, right? Zone C is Canada. Yuck. $23 is more than the game. 9 Zone A. So US, China, Hong Kong, and Taiwan are really the only places where you'll want to factor this in. Pay $21 for this? I don't think you do. There's also there's just Cyber Pet Quest and Cat Rescue, which I think we covered once upon a time. Yeah, I just don't think this looks good. I think it would be fine, but if you want to play a better small card game, you play Scout, right? Is it going to beat it? No, I don't own Scout yet. I would much rather play something like that. That finishes Friday, August 8th at 12 a.m. But we got a couple good ones in there, so, you know, we can't be too annoying. Okay, we're going to keep on moving to Alpine Tarok. No? Alpine Tarok. Okay, I guess it's different. Explore a hidden gem of trick-taking made easy to learn and play. Sure. Tarok is a 5-suited deck from Central Europe, used for its own family of unique games. Okay, which is again different from Tarok. That's cool. The deck is pre-sorted to match a play-along available online, so you can learn by playing. Sick. That's neat. Just don't shuffle it by accident, and then you're screwed. So this is teaching you how to use a Tarok deck, that there are a bunch of different card games you can do when there are 5 suits, and it's built around an Alpine theme. Cool. A single deck is $16. Yeah, you know what? I would be much more interested in getting this Alpine Tarok deck than this Kittens in Space thing. I imagine you could play multiple more interesting games than Kittens in Space, and you could then have a whole group of ones on which you could draw. Sure, 23. Am I gonna get it? Nah. Even though my first Tarok game, Calling the King, it's a trick-taking game with bidding. Players bet on what they think they can achieve, so it's Wizard, shifting the round's flow. But bets aren't the only way to score. It's nice that it gives a little tiny rulebook for you, though. I mean, it does say that the rulebook is just so beautiful and so easy to learn, and then they don't show it here. I don't know. But yeah, not a bad thing. If I never knew a Tarok deck existed. This little X suit, I always thought that was reserved solely for Vin Diesel, and now I know that it's also for cards. So that finishes Friday, August 8th at 3:35 p.m. We're gonna keep on moving. Again, I don't have too much hope for what's going on here. We've got this one, Echoes of the Sundering. I'm prepared to be surprised. I love fantasy themes, so give it to me. It's a 1 to 5 player cooperative open world deck construction primal fantasy adventure. All right. That's a nice enough video. 89 US, it's going to be this big storybook adventure. You're going to be investigating different points of interest and then choosing to do on either this or that choice as you proceed through the story while going through some fights and gaining items and gaining renown as you discover what the heck this game is all about. And an over 40-hour campaign, oh, it only said 30 in the video. Now it's getting even more impressive. Big, bold, no AI, that's nice. Your bonus for backing right now is you get the foil cards. Sure. I like when games add in these foil cards. I do, because it's not anything gameplay related. It's nothing you have to test. It's just a cool, shiny little version to say, yeah, I got the cool, shiny version. I'm a Kickstarter backer, you know? Or you can purchase it later, but the most powerful items in the game, the legendary ones, are foil. Cool. Nice rulebook. Okie dokie. 27 pages. That's not so bad. Okay, some of these aren't loading, but some are. So we're going to look at the ones that are. 2 parts. Exploration and encounter. Exploration using the storybook. Parties will freely explore the map, gather resources, attempt to free the Valley of the Pale, an accursed mist. Adventurers will visit a variety of locations where they can complete quests, learn about the world while exploring. They'll also make choices and get to know each other. Come on. Although we're adventurers, we can still take some time for a little icebreaker. And then finally, and then there will also be encounters. The heroes will fight fearsome beasts, cruel enemies, or pursue other objectives laid out within the encounter. Players will use their card decks and items during encounters. Yeah. So the encounter part is the thing that sort of constitutes more of the game, or at least in my mind in a lot of these campaign games, right? And I'm sure you feel the same way. It's the encounters, it's the fights, it's these things that you're going to be engaging with over and over again. It provides a structure of the game when there isn't just story. So it feels like you're playing a game instead of having a book being read to you. A choose-your-own-adventure book, but a book nonetheless. Because there's a storybook, there's a map book, and then there's a rule book. This one rules! I like this. Players would never go back on their decisions in the storybook. Choices are permanent. Well, I mean, like, you can do whatever you want. It's your game. But I like that it's in the rule book. During an encounter, players can take back or change plays until they've learned new information, like flipping an encounter card, etc. Read everything from left to right, top to bottom. If there's ever a time when the rules are unclear regarding resolution, order, or combat, choose the interpretation that best benefits the players. It's a nice game. The only way to break your campaign is by making an incorrect trigger in the journal. Yeah, so if please give me a gift and something's proven, very well, here's your reward. Otherwise, why would I do that? You do this. Format, I suppose. It encourages NPCs, kind of like Iridia. That works really well for Iridia. That's what's making Zach and I have a lot of fun. Oh, that's smart. Make sure that at each location, somebody else is managing the storybook so that the hidden information is at that. You have a food system in which you can't visit everything, so you do have to be a little bit efficient. And then you have to hunt to add time and gain food. Okay, seems easy enough. Slay the Spire armor rules. Any armor you have resets to 0. I like that there are little mini quests that are happening with the encounter cards. There's going to be, if you deal 4 to 6 damage, or if all heroes has 12 health, you'll get to flip the card and something interesting will happen. And so you're pulling things out of the box, it looks like, in a stack. It'll be an encounter, like a beast will be underneath it, and then you'll draw cards from underneath it to reveal the behavior that it takes. And then you, as the heroes, will be paying action costs to either play single actions, great passive abilities, have instant effects. This is a very clear rule book. It's like immediately trying to deal with all the edge cases that are going to happen. Deck construction. Decks are always made up of 20 ability cards. Starting decks are always made up of 16 ability cards with origin cards. Then it's just describing how you play with companions. So and then we're not loading this. I think okay, we're loading a bit. Yeah, and then we just get to a glossary. Not as much information in terms of how encounters are going to go down, which means that they're going to be very simple to go through. They're going to be very card, and the discoveries are going to be a little bit more a part of it than the fighting is going to be, right? You're really going to be dealing with these encounters and flipping over cards and reading and seeing these scenarios shift as you go through, and then playing your cards to attack things. It doesn't really talk about, I mean, I think I missed it on the ones that couldn't be previewed, but in terms of how many action points you do have, how many action points you get to spend a turn, how those turn structure kind of works. It doesn't really talk about that, but I'm not that concerned. It feels like it's going to be a pretty simple and accessible campaign game. Yeah, as long as you have the stamina, you put it in, generate threat tokens, choose your actions carefully. Powerful abilities make you a bigger threat and they're therefore more likely target. This isn't in the parts of the rulebook that I was able to see. Now, of course, there were quite a few that the preview couldn't generate. So I think the real draw here is going to be these encounters that are moving forward in a narrative fashion. It's 89 US, 123 Canadian, and then shipping is probably going to be about 30 bucks. That's usually the average. I guess for a 2-year fulfillment, which is an accurate one, I'd say. Most will tell you, 18-month fulfillment and then deliver in 2 years. So it's nice that they're being honest about that. And shipping 39, so $40 Canadian. So 160, 18 to the US. So you're paying a 108. It feels like they have really done their homework. They just had Tic Tac Slash was the last thing they did. But it really feels like they've done a lot of their homework on a campaign and fulfillment and realistic timelines. So yeah, I don't know. I have too many campaign games to seriously consider anymore. This seems very much along the lines of gameplay light and narrative heavy, and so I'm less interested in those campaigns. But if you are interested in that, well, check it out. It finishes Saturday, August 9th at 12:59 a.m. Moving along, we've got Dice Commandos, the solo game of the month. It's Dice Commandos is a tactical dice puzzle game where you control a team of elite operatives completing objectives through stealth combat and clever use of ability. All right, you gonna have a rulebook for me or what? Different enemies like raptors or insurgents or berserkers or cyber apes plopping dice around. Okay, you choose your team, you choose your scenario. Strategically defeat enemies. Oh, okay, I thought we were gonna randomly defeat enemies. If we're strategically defeating, I'm sold. Guess I might be a little sarcastic. Download the rulebook. Yes, thank you. 4 phases: event phase, commando phase, enemy movement, enemy reinforcement. Event phase is easy. You draw a card from an event deck, something will happen. Okay, main thing is going to be commando phase. 3 basic actions. You can take the same action multiple times in a round unless it's specified. Move and attack. Move a commando the number of spaces on the map up to their pip value. If you move onto an enemy, you have to stop and attack. Okay, then you roll an additional dice for each one, and you add them together. So you have a base of 4 versus a base of 5, but if you roll a 1 and then you roll a 3, then, the yellow could defeat the green still. So they're just removed from the map. If it's commando, you're placed into the deploy box. Deploy a commando. Then decrease the fury die by 1. When a fury die reaches 6, reset it to 1 and drop. Do you mean increase? Oh, increase the fury die by 1. This says decrease. Okay, that makes more sense. Okay, deploy. Roll a commando from the deploy box. So it might be stronger, it might be worse. Okay. Train, re-roll one of your commandos until it's a different value. It stays in the same space, so you can train, try to buff up your stats. Other common actions are found on commandos themselves. This commando gains stealth. Place a stealth token. Okay. A very common action is to pick up objective tokens. All right. Take the mission. So it's all about just moving these dice around in this little commando theme game, but very dice centric. Everything is about manipulating these dice, and there's a lot of rolling of these dice. So a lot of randomness is going to happen as your other people are patrolling. You hope to overtake them with a better dice roll than an opponent, or use the actions of your team. It doesn't feel like your team is going to be all that variable, but it'll give abilities. Well, actually, when your base stats are just, hey, run around as a little dice and roll the dice, any ability probably feels pretty good. So maybe I take that back. Again, looks like another solid one from the solo game of the month fair. $5 shipping to the US, $6 shipping to Canada. There might be a 10% fee applied to US orders, depending upon how the tariff situation plays out in the next few months. So $40 for this little solo dice game. If you like solo games, it's a pretty good campaign to check out. If you like rolling dice, especially as well. 20 strong with some tactics. Tactical movement with some moving around. I don't know. I think the play here is going to be to just keep on training your dice until they're 6s and then feel really bad when you roll a 1 and the other dice rolls a 4 and wish that you had an ability that made you get to reroll your dice, I think I would bounce off of it pretty hard, but some other people might not. If you're interested, that finishes on the 9th at 1 a.m. I wanted to touch on this. I just wanted to check in on this for me. I know AbCon is something that I backed and supported maybe 4 years ago when I started doing this. I saw that they were bringing back the African Board Games Convention, and the fact that it's been going on since then is really exciting, seeing board gaming in Africa pop up. And I've actually seen this designer, the guy who runs it, pop up in a few spots as well. There was a point in which we were hoping to be able to bring him for WSBG to have like really international coverage and have him as a commentator, but it just didn't work out. Honestly, it was too expensive, and WSBG still isn't making money. So yeah, Sheriff of Nottingham. Seeing Splendors, seeing Sagrada, that's exciting. Because I know like back 4 years ago, those were even a little bit unknown, and then seeing some of those really take off and be part of the B-roll. That's kind of cool. Anyway, they've hit their funding goal, but I think it's a really cool con. I like hearing about it. I like seeing the support. Oh, they're playing Heat there too. It feels like it's really blowing up, and it's very exciting to kind of see it over the years. 25 known published designers in 2025. Sick. They're not able to self-fund the event this year due to many economic situations like inflation, so they've now hit their goal in terms of being able to rent the space out and hoping to hit 3,000 people. That's awesome. Yeah. Anyway, if you're interested in learning more about AppCon, I thought it looked really cool way back when, and I still think it looks cool now. The finish is Monday, August 11th at 3 p.m. And then finalement, we have Absolute. Having nothing means everything. A card game where simple math meets interactive and tactical gameplay. Perfect for Siths. All right, so it's gin rummy, but adding and subtracting. That's what it is. I really like this story, though. They said, one day, we tried a new card game with an interesting core mechanic. But the game, too complicated. We didn't like it. Another, we tried basically came down to luck of the draw. Not fun. And with yet a third game, it felt like we were playing solitaire, but from the same deck of cards. 3 strikes. No games are good. We tried 3 of them. One was too hard. One was random. It was just solitaire. We'll never play a game again. So that's what got them thinking. Maybe we can finally design a game that is fun. And they came up with Gin Rummy. Does that mean? No, I think this looks fun. I think it provides some flexibility in terms of how you collect cards and what you need. I think there's not going to be a worry about denying cards from people because a lot of different combinations can make this happen. I think it definitely does sound fun. How much are you asking for? 18? 18's better than 20? That's very nice. 25 Canadian. Do you have a shipping estimate? That's a question. Ooh, I hope so. Oh, it's just to the US? That is $5 shipping. So if you like math and you want a gin rummy with math, well, you can check this out. That finishes Monday, August 11th at 3:30 p.m. That's it. That is it for the week. Now, every week I do a pick for me and a pick for you. The pick for me being the thing I think is the most interesting. I would be the most excited to play. And the pick for you being the thing I think if you got, you would regret the least. But before that, I always like to go through because I've forgotten everything. And so let's figure out what we did look at. Retail. No. Meh. Nah. Meh. Certainly not. Yeah. Yeah. No. Meh. 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 And meh. I think we knew as we were going through, I think we knew that there was only a chance for, but there is a pick for me and a pick for you. I really didn't think there was going to be a pick for me or a pick for you this week, but there is both. The pick for me is Doodle Disaster. I think this sounds like a great concept. I think it would be a fun one, and it would be a better party game than some party games that I have played. I think this is a better party game than Caution Signs. Definitely. Caution Signs is like, I played it once and it was fine. So better than that, Doodle Disaster. Telestrations is probably still better, but this one has a better way of scoring points because you actually get points if you guess what the thing is. So that could be interesting. And then the pick for you is going to be Goats and Goblins because Ink and Gold is great, and this is basically that with just a tiny little tweak to it. So if you like Ink and Gold, well, you can also get this now and have the same experience with just a little bit of a change. And I think the change is a nice one. Those are the campaigns for the week. That is all for the week. How y'all doing? I hope you're doing well. I got to get my little reaches in. Oh, make sure you stretch with me, babies. Stretch with me. Get that hunch gone. We can do it together. Thank you so much for watching and for being here. My name is Chris George. I do not have a catchphrase, but I do have some other YouTube videos, and you can watch one of those right now. Or you could, or you don't have to. But if you want to, you could just restart this one. Nah, go back to last week. There was more fun. It was funnier last week. You're supposed to end a video quickly. It helps improve retention, according to Mr. Beast. Well, you know what? I didn't do that this time. In fact, I'm still here. Okay, okay. I really was going to keep this bit on for a much longer period of time than I have now, but I've decided to stop it right now. Right now. Right